I have seen guys utilize this drill in boxing gyms trying to get themselves used to the sensation of getting clipped or getting knocked down and then having to recover while still striking. And to me, in my experience of getting clipped and getting rocked, which has only happened a few times in my whole life, spinning around in circles does not prepare you for the sensation. It's not the same. So today we're going to talk about what it feels like to get rocked, what you can do to prepare yourself for this sensation, and training tips to just help you be stronger so you don't get clipped and knocked down every time you're touched. Alright guys, first we're going to talk about my experience with getting hit. Now, early in my career, when I was super young, like not even really being a professional, an amateur, just, doing karate tournaments, and then I started transitioning into kickboxing, I just went, man, I feel like I have just such a good chin. I would get hit at the gym, would never get rocked, would never have a sensation that I was dizzy, and I had this for such a long time. But then I started reaching a higher level of competition, and about 3 times I've been hit and clipped where I went, whoa, okay. But overall, I feel like I have a very good chin for fight sports, and part of it is just luck of the draw. I've had guys that I've trained with who are super tough to the body, super durable through the legs, amazing cardio, but they get clipped and they go down. And I can't really explain why, except I have a couple theories on how you can improve your durability to the jaw. But of course, we want to make sure we're not being foolish in the way we train durability to the head. Spinning around, as I said, does not seem to be the same sensation. So let's talk quickly about the sensation of getting knocked down or getting rocked. If you have not experienced it, hopefully you never do. It's something that is different. It's something you don't want to continually do to yourself, like put your head down and have somebody punch you, because you're going to constantly be aggravating and damaging your brain. So the few times that I've been clipped in fights and I go down, the sensation is either I was working away and then all of a sudden I look up and the ref's there and I just got knocked down, or I had to take a knee, but I don't remember the experience in between. It's just like a flash situation where you went from here to here and not knowing what happened. The other one is where you get hit and all of a sudden you sort of feel a zing through your body, little sensation, zoop, and then down to the legs you feel really unsteady. It's almost like you're walking on stiff legs, like straight stiff legs that won't bend, but at the same time, even though they're really stiff, they're really light, and you feel just a little bit wobbly. And it's only been for a split second where that happened to me before, like literally 1, 2, and it was gone. But I would imagine when somebody gets clipped really hard and you hear an announcer say, oh, they're on rubber legs, that is the sensation that those guys are having. The legs are heavy, but they're not working under you and they feel kind of wobbly. Either situation, whether you get here to here in a split second or you get clipped and you're going, whoa, my legs feel weird, either is not good. It means there was damage to the brain. We want to avoid that. So how can we go about avoiding head impact, knowing that the durability to the head is very different than building up durability to the body, where somebody can just sit there and hit you and bit by bit you're going to get stronger, your tolerance will build, your muscles will become stronger, maybe thicken up a little bit just from all the flexing you're doing. You learn how to breathe properly. Conditioning the head is stupid. There's no other way to say it. It's just a dumb thing to do. Like, I'm just going to stand here and you're just going to hit me hard and my head's going to get conditioned. It does not work that way. But what you can do is, number 1, get used to shots coming at you. I could drop my chin and have you guys just go pop, 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 just nice and light, just touch, 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 touch. And I could just learn how to, take the shots and, most importantly, not run from them and not blink. In my experience, the times where I have been knocked down, it was in the moment where somebody threw a punch, I blinked, and by the time I opened back up, I'd already been hit. So I did not see the punch coming. Now, it's very difficult to get comfortable with punches coming at you when you're worried about being hit. It's going to be very hard for you to keep your eyes open when somebody's trying to take your head off. So having somebody stand in front of you, open fist with gloves on, and just tap away on your head, and you just kind of tap, 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 and you just take the shots and you just learn to lock that eyesight on so you see every punch come and hit you. That is the first big element to not getting knocked down, not getting hit every time, and having to take a knee because the shots hurt you. Seeing a punch coming, even though it seems scarier than closing your eyes, being like an ostrich, stick your head in the sand, it won't hurt me. Well, it's the exact opposite. You want to see the shots coming. Now, next up, if you've done all that and you're like, man, my eyesight is just locked on, but still I want to find out what else I can do to make sure the shots don't hurt me as bad. Well, I have 2 other ideas, 2 other sort of theories on the way that you can deal with this. Now, number 1, when you get hit with a shot, if you do nothing, you stay completely stationary, your head's going to jar more. So if somebody's coming with a right hook towards me, I want to learn to roll with the shot. If I can roll with it, somebody like Canelo is very good at taking a shot and not having the impact to jolt his head because he moves with it. So it minimizes the amount his head ends up shifting from side to side. That is the first aspect of things you can do. You can have somebody take a pool noodle and just swat it at your chin. It's like boop, boop, and then you start rolling with it. And you can do the same thing on punches. A punch is going to come to the forehead. Instead of taking it, you can just roll with it a little bit. That is another aspect to being able to absorb. It's almost absorb punches, so the impact is less. That is training you have to do on your own. The other aspect that you can make sure you increase, when we said, okay, we don't want to hold our head here and just take the shot, but if we are going to do that, we want to be able to minimize our head snapping. And we're not going to do that by conditioning our brain, but what we can do is condition our neck. Get our neck really strong so that when we get hit, we could tense our neck and hopefully minimize the amount of movement through our head, because what happens when we get knocked down or knocked out, or we have that sensation through our legs when we get rocked, is usually our brain is coming and touching the skull, or in the instance where my legs go wobbly, maybe we're just a little bit away from that. The brain wobbles and almost touches the skull. I'm not 100% sure on the science of that, but that would be my guess. So instead of taking a shot and having our head go snap, maybe if our neck is stronger, when we get hit, our head just moves that much. And I've been a big advocate for doing, I'll put a link up here, at-home neck workouts where you take about 10 minutes and you condition that neck so it's so strong that your head will never snap because it's so weak, and the shot will just cause your head to jolt. We can improve our eyesight. We can learn to roll with shots, and as a last resort, our neck is strengthened and conditioned and is not going to have our head jolt. I think those are all ways that you can avoid taking knockdowns and taking extreme damage when you compete. Now, if you're somebody who's just simply at the gym and you're going, okay, you know, I have no big interest in competing, but I want to minimize my damage in the gym. Well, obviously the first thing is find good sparring partners, or verbalize to sparring partners that you're not interested in sparring full out, taking head impact. But the reality is that never always works. There's always somebody who still tries to come and take your head off, whether it's ego or just a lack of skill level on their part. So everything we've talked about today also plays into training at the gym and keeping yourself safe while at the gym. In terms of the sensation of getting knocked down, once you get knocked down or you get wobbled, and what you should do to avoid getting knocked out completely. I've only had a few instances in my career, but I didn't specifically train for them. It just kind of happened. What we need to do is make sure we don't get over eager. We don't let our ego tell us what to do. The couple times when I got knocked down, first one in my career was when I took a shot to the back of the head. Big overhand. Second time I was in Japan and I just attacked and I must have blinked and then I just was down on one knee. Both instances came like that. I was down on one knee looking up at the ref. Now I could have easily just sprung up and been like, okay, I'm ready to go after 3 or 4 second count. But I stayed down on my knee and I took the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8. I got up to my feet and then, looked at the ref. He asked me to move here and there and there. And then what we do after we maximize our break time that the ref is going to give us is we make sure we don't run back in to get that knockdown back. Like, he knocked me down, now I'm going to put him down. No, we take 10, 15, 20 seconds. We move around, we play it safe. We don't constantly retreat because that is an indication that you are injured and damaged and the opponent should really track you down. You use your jab, you make sure you throw a couple hard low kicks or body kicks to make sure you let this guy know that you are still there and you can still hurt him if he gets too aggressive. You basically have on a poker face for the first 15, 20 seconds after the ref says fight, where you are really establishing with this guy that you are dangerous, but you are still really in recovery mode. Because I did this throughout my career, even when I fought Robin van Roosmalen, and I talked about that fight the other day, when he clipped me with a hard left hook and I went down, and then I came back up to my feet, I recovered, and then later in the round he dropped me again. I was still able to get up, finish the round, and move on to the next one because I didn't run back in and let my ego take over and try to get a knockdown back, and as a result, possibly get knocked out because I was being foolish. In my career, I have never been KO'd. I have never taken a knockout, and mostly because I decided to stay safe. I always prioritize making sure my health and my safety is paramount, and then after that, the next very, very close, but after that is get the victory. But I'm never going to prioritize the victory over my health and safety. So if you can remember that when you're in the gym sparring or when you're competing, health comes first. Yes, sometimes your body hurts, things are really sore, and you push through to get that victory. But when it comes to impact to the head, I always prioritize my safety and make sure when I get knocked down, I maximize my recovery. I take a number of seconds after to establish that jab, to keep some distance, to make sure I let this guy know that I'm still in the fight, but at the same time, maintaining caution. And if we add all that in with our ability to roll with shots, strengthen the neck, increase our eyesight, it is much easier to deal with the situation of getting rocked when it finally arrives, when it happens to you. And let's be realistic, at some point in your career, you will get rocked. It's happened to everybody, even the absolute best in the world. George St. Pierre, he's been rocked. Floyd Mayweather, he's been rocked. I've seen him almost go down and touch the ground. It's gonna happen to you if you decide you wanna compete. It's not something that I want to happen to you, but it will. And in the moment, you need to stay calm, stay focused, remember everything I told you today, and hopefully after that, you will be able to, deal with the wobbly legs, deal with the knockdown, come back, and ultimately still stay safe and win the fight. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode on what it's like to get rocked, what you can do to keep yourself safe after it happens. If you did, please give the video a like. If you haven't already, join the channel, get subscribed. Train hard, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.